Hi and happy spring from Vintage Nerd. Today I am filming in my bedroom and you may be able to see some of my favorite starlets in the background. I wanted to kind of tweak up where I film my videos. I'm really trying to figure out where to film them, what kind of background to have, so bear with me as I figure it all out. But today I wanted to share with you some vintage magazines that I read that you might like. I know that some of them may not be able to be found in your country or your state, so I'm going to include some links below to their pages and their Facebook pages as well, so maybe you can find them and try them out and see if you like them too. Now this first one is called Films of the Golden Age, and it is really thick, and it has lots and lots and lots of information on silent film stars, classic Hollywood stars, their films. They do, in this issue is all about William Boyd, who was a very well-known silent film star of the time, and I love this magazine. This is definitely for the cinephile or those who love classic films, but it's absolutely beautiful. The pages inside are in black and white, so that's a little something different, but I actually like it. I think it kind of plays into the theme of classic film. The second magazine that I like to talk about or share with you is called Reminiscence Magazine. Now Reminiscence comes in two types of magazines. You have Reminiscence, boop, and then you have Reminiscence Extra, boop. Now Reminiscence comes every other month and Reminiscence Extra comes every other month in between. So if you subscribe to Reminiscence and Reminiscence Extra, you will get one every month. So I love this magazine. It is colorful and beautiful. It's changed editors twice in the past few years and it just keeps getting better and better. And what I love about it is that I get to read stories about other people's families, their experiences with the past, what they wore, and they share their own private personal photos, and I find it really endearing because most of the older people in my family have passed on. I've actually lost a great aunt and a great uncle 2 months ago, so they're kind of leaving, and the generation that's here, those that grew up in the 50s and 60s, in my family at least, they don't really want to talk about the past too much, so it's kind of nice to be able to look back through somebody else's eyes and be able to see what life was like for them. So I love this magazine. My third recommendation is called Vintage Affair. It is brand spanking new. This is the first issue, and I love the paper. It's really thick and it's very colorful, and the cover is gorgeous. The only thing that I find questionable is that there's a lot of pinup photos. I mean, a lot of pinup photos, and so it kind of confuses me, like, is this a pinup magazine or is this a vintage kind of touching on all of the decades kind of magazine? But it is the first issue, and I think they have a lot of room for growth, and I think they're going to keep getting better and better and better. Check them out. I think you would like them. I really love the pictures. They're so colorful. I love it. And the last recommendation is one that I'm sure many of you have already read, and it is Vintage Life Magazine. It comes from the UK. You could subscribe to them paper-wise or digitally, or purchase back issues, which is usually what I do. I haven't subscribed to them yet because unfortunately for Americans it's very pricey, but they sometimes have deals and sales, so I'm going to include all the links below. I love this magazine. It keeps getting better and better and better. Now they have different categories like my home, my look. They didn't have this a couple of years ago. So it's getting more and more organized, my style, and it's beautiful. I purchased this issue because it said style of the 60s, and I thought that it would be filled to the rim about things about the 1960s fashion, lifestyle, hair, makeup, and they only had a few little things on it, so I was a little disappointed, but otherwise there's so much information here about all sorts of eras, and it's very thick, so I think you would like it. So what kind of magazines do you read that are vintage? What kind of magazines would you recommend? Have you read any of these? Let me know, comment, or tell me on my blog, or just email me if you want, and let me know if you have any favorites.